Hello and welcome back to What the Tesla. Today I have the Tesla Model 3 paint protection film kit to install. Now, as regular viewers will know, I've had a few paint problems with my Model 3 since picking that up back in December. Unfortunately, this particular batch from Fremont towards the back end of the year, sort of October to December, they had some issues with paint, and the issues I had were peeling along the side sills or rocker panels for my American viewers, and unfortunately they had to go back several times to have that repaired. Now, I did get some front mud flaps installed, and they were done by Tesla, and that was incredibly helpful. However, unfortunately, after the mud flaps had been installed, I was still having the same problem with paint peeling, so it went back to them again. Since then, in other videos, as hopefully you've seen, I've had the Ingenco paint protection spray installed, and that's why it looks a little bit different to how it did in the photos of the issues that I was having with the paint. So I have got the paint protection film directly from Tesla. It's available on their website for about £50, or I think it's $50 in the US, and it essentially is just a kit that's got 4 pieces within it, and I'll just unravel this and show you what's inside. Okay, so within the box, there we go, there's some wrapping, more wrapping, a squeegee, and then most importantly, the product, the paint protection film. Now, there are 2 for each side. One is for the side sill or rocker panel. The other one is for the sort of side of the wheel arch or quarter panel, or I think some people call it a dog leg, and there's so many names for these things, and they just get installed onto the car. On the Tesla website, the description is: protect your Model 3 from snow, salt, sand and small debris with the Model 3 paint protection film. Protect your paint from stone chips and driving conditions that can accelerate wear and tear. So yeah, it comes with 4 pieces of film, 2 for each side, and 1 squeegee. In the description, I will leave a link to the paint protection film and also to the instructions for installing it as well. So the first thing to do is to clean the car, and it does say in the instructions just to clean the areas that you're going to be installing the product, but actually the car might look a little bit messy elsewhere. So I'm going to do the whole car, and I'm going to use the usual method that I use, which is the 2 bucket method, and that will get the car nice and clean and ready to install the kit. Okay, so now the car is washed and dried, we need to install the paint protection film. Now, disclaimer here, I'm not a professional. I have never installed PPF before. It's my first time. So I'm going to follow the instructions, and we'll learn as we go. And any mistakes I make, obviously, I'll let you know. One of the most important things to check when installing paint protection film is that it's a nice, warm, dry day. Now, you don't want to just check today, you also want to check tomorrow, because in the instructions it says that you can't get the car wet for 24 hours because then the paint protection film might come off. So check the weather for today and tomorrow, and a nice warm day like today is perfect. So you might be wondering what I'm doing with these in my hands. These are a few more things that you're going to need for the installation of the PPF kit. So a nice, good quality microfiber cloth. I use the ones from Costco, which are high quality and seem to do the job. Some baby shampoo. Johnson's was what we had in, so that's what we're going to use. And then we're going to use an empty bottle as well that has a spray nozzle on it. Now, just make sure that there's no residue from whatever was in the bottle before, because if there was some sort of bleach in there, you don't want to be spraying that onto your car. So just make sure that it's nice and clean. And the solution is around 15% baby shampoo to 85% water. And that just helps to put the PPF film onto the car, move it into the right place, and then you can squeegee it out. So let's get making the solution. give it a good shake. And we are done. We have the solution there. So now we've got the solution made up, I'm just going to give the car one last wipe down here just to make sure that there's no contaminants in the installation. You just want to make sure that the surface is as smooth as possible with no dust, no marks, so that the film that you're putting on doesn't have any bubbles. Alright, that's as good as it's going to get. So I think in this light you should be able to see the different pieces. I'm wiggling that around in the hope that you can see. There's two for each side, one for the rocker panel and one for the wheel arch or quarter panel. Right, so next in the instructions it says that we need to apply liberal amounts of the solution to the vehicle. First of all, we're going to install the side sill or the rocker panel, so this area down here. So let's get spraying. Then one of the important bits is making sure that you choose the right side of the kit. Now what it says to do is actually to apply the solution straight to this. So I'm just going to give that a little spray and then peel that off like that. Keep that nice and safe. And then this is just going to stick down here. And then I just need to move it around a little bit just to make sure that it's level. So it needs to be level with this back piece here and then level with the bottom where the paint ends as well. So if you look really closely, just kind of along here, you've got a nice line that helps guide it into place, which is actually really helpful. The next bit is to squeegee out the liquid from between the film and the paint. So I'm just going to run this over a few times, nice and smooth, over the areas I've installed that. And that's installed really nicely. Okay, so before I install the next piece, I am just going to wipe that down, just to get rid of any dust that's come off the first piece. Now there is another little bubble down there as well, so I'm just going to try and work that out. There we go. The next step is this piece that will go up to about here. And again, as I'm taking this off the paper backing, I'm just going to give it a good spray to make it nice and wet. And the same as I'm peeling it away, I'm just going to spray as I'm peeling. This next piece just simply goes here, just above the previous piece. And again, it should line up really nicely with the back here. Now I need to do the same thing again and just move it all into position so that it lines up nicely and appears to be one single piece. I think the trickiest bit is lining this bit up here. So I'm just going to squeegee it out and see what happens. So I can confirm this piece is a lot harder to install than that piece. Okay, just to show you, this is the main problem I've had with the installation. As you can see just here at the bottom, it's just peeling away slightly, and that's just because of the curvature of the panel. So I'm going to keep trying to smooth that out and we'll see how we get on. Now it's time to go to the other side of the car and do the other side. So first of all, we need to just give it a spray with the solution liberally. Again, I'll be doing the sill first, so as I'm peeling that off the backing, I need to give that a good spray with the solution as well. Put it into place on the panel. Repeat with the top piece and move that into place as well. The other piece fell down, so I'll just put all of that back together. I think I might have put a bit too much solution on. Whoops. Then it's time to squeegee out all of the excess liquid. One thing I did find is that if you squeegee away from the other piece, it's actually a little bit easier to apply, because then you're not putting the solution directly onto the other piece and pushing it down. One of the challenges I had was getting the pieces to line up the whole way along. They just didn't seem to quite be the same shape as each other. And that's probably just because I'm a noob at this, and you guys that are professionals are probably having a great time laughing at how badly I'm installing this. I was installing it so badly that I needed some help. My 3-year-old came out to give me some support. And admittedly, she did a better job than I did. I really was having a hard time with that line that goes along the sill. I know that's where the two pieces are supposed to meet, but actually that was causing a bit of an issue for me with the liquid going into that line, and therefore the pieces weren't sticking to the panel properly. So it took a little bit of time with a microfiber and a squeegee to get that excess liquid out. But then once it was on, I was quite happy with it. When you get really close to it, it's quite obvious that it's on there. But when you take a step back, it's really not very obvious. And I was quite surprised by that, because obviously my car is matte and the film is kind of shiny. So when you do get close to it, you can see it quite clearly, but when you move back a little bit, it's much more difficult to see that it's installed. So then £50 and about an hour later, and it is installed. And I've got to say, it looks okay. If you get really close, you can see that it's not quite straight and it doesn't quite meet up. I know on the Model Y kit, it's actually just one piece that goes on each side, and that would have been much easier, I've got to be honest. However, it does look okay, and certainly on the matte finish, which I have on this car, it doesn't look too bad from a long way off, and even when you get closer, you can kind of see that it's there, but it's not too obvious. Whereas if you've got a metallic, obviously it's a kind of shiny PPF, so it will be probably even less obvious that it's there if you've just got one of the standard colours. One thing I didn't show you in the video was actually I had to take it all off and put it back on again, and that was just because it wasn't quite straight. The issue that I had was actually along the line where within the panel there's just a little dip, and you kind of use that as a guide to put the bottom piece and the top piece together. But actually when I was doing that, then the water wasn't coming out properly. So I just had to take it off, reapply it, try and get all of the water out first, and then install the next piece on top of it, and then push the water up instead of down. And that seemed to do the job. Now, if you are a professional PPF installer, you're probably laughing at me and going, what an idiot. But if you are watching and you're a professional, please do give us some tips below, because no doubt there's going to be a lot of other people that are watching this video trying to install the kit themselves. So if you do have any tips for installation, please leave them below, and if they're really helpful, I'll pin you a comment just so that other people can see that as well. Great. Well, as always, thank you very much for watching What the Tesla. Hopefully it's been a really good, informative video for you, and if it has, give me the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more similar content, and until next time, see you then. Bye.